So my country people them, we dey now just a few hours before the presidential election for Cameroon. So a few things already happen in the Anglophone zone. I decided to make a record this conversation with Una for inform Una what really happened. So
ladies and gentlemen, televiewers of Star Television, less than 24 hours before Cameroonians visited the polls for the presidential elections, we have Minister Mbanyu Felix here in Abakwa, that is Old Town in Bamenda, Northwest region of Cameroon.
Yesterday, the 10th of October 2025, as when I see for this video, now the supporters them for former minister Issa Chiroma that were the campaign in Cambe, yes, na Anglophone zone that. Despite the fact that the ambassador terrorists, they threaten for kill people them if they exercise their constitutional and human rights for vote. People they still come out outside. They say lockdown, people they don't care, they come out outside for campaign, for participate in the politics for Cameroon, Nankambe that. And this next video, now Minister Felix Mbanyu that for external relations, where he did for Bamenda today, the 11th of October 2025, as I talk, he also do the closing remarks and for Bamenda, they galvanize the population for come outside for vote tomorrow. Also, I don't see communication will come out from Bui Division, where the former governor, Fayengo Francis, he don't do the closing campaign for Bui Division and, Jakiri or Kumbo, all of those places them. Of course, in the past few days, I don't also see Akeremuna and Caxton, they enter right inside Momo, go right inside Bengui. They go campaign for their own political candidate when Bello Buba Maigari for day. I also know, say, the minister, Acha Rose from Mundam, Ide Batibo, and other places them inside Momo and Bamenda as well. And Governor Fayengo Francis and the former Prime Minister Philemon Yang, the day inside Bamenda, the past few days, they campaigned for this presidential election. Obviously, things that don't also they happen in the Southwest with other political parties, they don't they campaign, even during these past few days, say hours before the election, people did the campaign inside Dian, inside Fako, inside Meme, and all over the Anglophone zone for make sure say they galvanize and mobilize the population for come outside for vote, despite the threat from Ambazonia terrorists. Another point I need for bring up for Nana say, Dr. Simon Munzu, he don't come outside with a statement where I go play him before the end of this small presentation for now, where it call on the general Anglophone population and Cameroonians in general for make sure that they remain peaceful before, during, and after the presidential election. I will play that statement when I will listen to the articulation for himself and not go put words for your mouth. Akeremuna, where it be also the contest for that election for 2018, it be endorsed Professor Maurice Kamto only 24 hours before the election. Obviously, now what this way we expect, say, the opposition candidates, they go do them years in advance, or at least months and months in advance for prepare the grounds and for galvanize the population and for also spread their own ideology and all those things. The Cameroonian population in general, they ask for a coalition of the opposition, but the opposition, they deny them, say they no go form one unity platform. So now the situation that my contributor now just the update that will bring up for as election they come in less than 24 hours, the Anglophone population they be mobilized and they be galvanized and they be excited for partake in this election, and nothing ain't going to stop them. Not the ambassador terrorist threats, and they encourage all man for come outside for vote. As when I don't hear Beltus, he good day for Libialem, he go vote. When I don't hear Okanasri Clovis, he register for Kumba, he good day for Kumba, and he go vote. And we encourage all Cameroonians and for exercise their civic duty, their constitutional and human rights, for partake in the politics of your country and for vote. Now you are right. Now your civic duty, now your responsibility for decide the future of your country. So make sure say you vote. No let any person bully you. So thank you plenty my country people them today na number 11 day for October 2025, where we did just a few hours before one of the biggest events in Cameroon in history, the presidential election, where it could decide who could rule Cameroon for the next 7 years. My country people them.
My fellow Cameroonians, I am Dr. Simon Munzu. This is my first statement on the presidential election that is scheduled to take place in Cameroon on the 12th of October 2025. Everywhere in Cameroon, The first week of campaigning in this election that officially commenced on September 27th has passed peacefully, without violence. For this, I applaud the peace-loving Cameroonian people of all 10 regions of our country. Cameroonians must avoid violence before, during, and after this election, including after the Constitutional Council announces the final result. The Constitution of our country is very clear. It says in Article 2, Paragraph 1, that national sovereignty belongs to the people of Cameroon, who exercise it either through the President of the Republic and members of Parliament or by referendum. So, on the 12th of October 2025, we, the sovereign people of Cameroon, will go to the polls to choose the person through whom we wish to exercise our sovereignty. Once chosen, that person will serve us for the next 7 years as the vessel for exercising our sovereignty. In the spirit of our Constitution, during those 7 years, he or she will be our servant and not our master. All Cameroonians should understand this. The result of the coming election must reflect the true will of the voters, that is to say, of the sovereign people of Cameroon. This election should therefore be free, transparent, inclusive, and fair, with equal treatment for all candidates in every aspect of the electoral process. It is for this purpose that the Cameroonian Electoral Code and other relevant laws have assigned specific tasks and duties in this process to particular institutions and authorities. Among such institutions and authorities, we have the Constitutional Council, judges of some competent lower courts, Elections Cameroon, otherwise known as ELECAM, and its various national, divisional, and local committees, regional governors, senior divisional officers, the military, gendarmerie, and police, as well as the National Communications Council. For us to preserve peace and avoid election violence in our dear country, these institutions and authorities must play their respective roles in accordance with the law, and the law only, without fear or favor. If they deviate from the law and either take actions or make decisions that favor some candidates over others, they would not only be subverting the will of the sovereign people of Cameroon, but they would also be providing a pretext for dissatisfied candidates and their supporters to resort to violence. That is why, at this time, I solemnly call upon the management and staff of ELECAM, the President and members of the Constitutional Council, the judges of competent lower courts, and all other public officials who play a role in the electoral process to perform their functions objectively, impartially, and solely in the general interest of the sovereign people of Cameroon, without deferring to the private interests of any individuals or groups. All through the electoral process, they must refrain from giving any stakeholder the pretext to resort to election-related violence. May the best person be chosen by the people of Cameroon on the 12th of October to serve us as a vessel for exercising our sovereignty in accordance with our constitution. God bless the sovereign people of Cameroon. God bless Cameroon. I thank you.